Hello and welcome to your final course here at St. Ambrose in the nursing department. This week will be an introduction to much of what we're going to be doing in this course, and I wanted to take a chance to just kind of review a couple of the key components for the project that you guys will be completing over this course. Much of what I'm going to review is right off of the directions and the rubric for this assignment. But just to give you a broad overview of what we're going to be doing. So the purpose is to use an evidence-based practice project that provides students with an opportunity to both evaluate and analyze a selecting nursing practice or topic through the literature, and then also doing an interview with the key individuals and making recommendations for change. There's several requirements that will be completed over the course of the semester. So the first thing, and we'll start working on this week, is the literature review. Some of this for some of you, it may be the literature review on the same topic you started in your evidence-based practice course, and for others it may be a new topic. So that will kind of work through some of that and figure out the topic this week. Following that literature review, we'll work on developing the objectives for the project, the interview, and the interview questions for a key individual, and more will come on that as we get closer. So each of these components we'll be discussing in more detail when the time comes for that component to happen. Once you've interviewed that key person, within the slide it identifies what your plan for interview will be. And you will need to have approval from the instructor before you actually complete the interview. Once you've completed that interview, you're going to be comparing and contrasting what you found from that key individual with what you found in the literature, and identifying how some things are similar and or different between those two settings. You'll go over transferability and generalizability, as well as identifying areas for potential change in the actual practice setting. So you may have started with something broad, and now you've only found a couple really key specific areas that you could consider implementing change in. And then developing that plan. So your plan for change is going to include using a change theory to guide the practice change, the feasibility, so some of the barriers and facilitators within the change setting, how you're going to evaluate the process, so what went well during the process of implementing the change, and then also looking at evaluating the outcome methods. So again, all of these we'll talk about in more detail, but there's several key steps along the way in developing this project that we'll be going through. At the very end, and this will be the last week of the course, you're going to present your project. And so the evaluation criteria that you'll be evaluated with is on the evaluation instrument or rubric, and this is also found in your Blackboard. So all of the drafts that you do over the course of the semester that get turned in end up being about 30 points of the total project. And so the review of the literature, the contacting the faculty member, keeping in contact with me weekly, which we'll be doing because you have something that you'll be doing every week, negotiating a plan for the interview, writing the objectives, and then all of the reporting that you'll do after the interview in formulating your plan. So all of these different drafts are going to be done throughout the course of this 8 weeks. The last component then is on the final evening of this course. We'll meet face-to-face on December 12th, and you guys will have a chance to disseminate your projects. So you'll be able to present these, and we'll do some practice with this the week before in a discussion board format. But you will be able to give a brief overview of your presentation. You'll be able to answer questions about your project. We will invite faculty from St. Ambrose. You'll be able to invite individuals from your workplace settings where you might be considering implementing your projects. And again, some people from Genesis often come, and many of my students have gone on to fully implement their projects in the past. And so this is a really good time for you to showcase the work that you've been doing as you conclude your baccalaureate education. So each week, you're going to be working on some steps of the project, either through an assignment or a discussion board post related to that project development. And then we're also going to be working in Sentinel City, which is a virtual simulation environment. And in that setting, we'll be applying various components of your prior learning to a virtual, and as well as correlating it with some of your own community settings. So the first thing is to talk about what we're going to do this week. So this week, you'll want to participate in the introduction discussion board. There's some articles posted to week 1 on Blackboard on quality improvement and planning for change. So these are just kind of that brief overview of what it looks like to take that project to the next step. And then I want you to get out your literature review that you finished in your evidence-based practice course. And we're going to determine if this can be developed into a project. So post to your topic that you did in evidence-based practice on the week 1 discussion board, following the prompts that are given, as well as the rubric to guide your participation. I will be giving feedback and helping to clearly identify, help you identify if this literature review has built into a project that could be conducted, or if we need to make some changes. And then you'll have some time to modify that literature review before it's due in week 2. So this week we're really just firming up what is going to be your project topic during that discussion board post. There is nothing this week due in Sentinel City, but you can definitely take time to download that and get in and start playing around in that program. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the introduction board.